Hey, this is Dave with Full Armor Gaming coming to you guys again with another in my How to DM series. Today, we are gonna be covering NPCs. What are they, how to make them, and more importantly, how to keep track of them. So stick with us and we'll see what we come up with. Okay, first off, you've heard the term NPC before. What does NPC actually mean? NPC means non-player character. So for the sake of DnD, it is literally anyone else in the world that's not one of your players. So everybody else is an NPC. So today what I'm gonna do is I'm going to teach you how to come up with them, how I come up with them, and also then how to keep track of them when you're trying to keep track of all of the NPCs in a whole world. It can get to be really crazy, making sure you don't lose anybody or anything like that. So today what I'll do is I'll come up with a couple examples of NPCs that I like to use and kind of where I came up with the idea. So first things first, like let's say you're in a town and somebody is walking up to the stable master there, and so you need to come up with an NPC. First thing that I do is I kind of cover like the basics. So I go with race, gender, name, personality. That's kind of the order that I use when I'm coming up with an NPC. So first things first, let's say for our stable master, race, I'm gonna go with human. Human stable master, it's gonna be a older human male. All right, so I've got race, I've got gender, name. Now, the people that are in my campaign are gonna love this because they absolutely hate this NPC, but his name is Tom. And Tom is going to run a chain of stables. So in my campaign, any town anyone goes to, the stable there is Tom's stable. And whoever they interact with is going to have some variation of the name Tom. And now, granted, there is only one Tom, but he does travel throughout the world and they have interacted with him on multiple occasions. So race, human, gender, he's a human male. I've got him as an older human male. His name is Tom. And now personality. The personality that I gave him was a skeezy, sleazy used car salesman, like your stereotypical, like that you would see in like a 90s TV sitcom that's there to just get whatever he can out of you and give you nothing in return. That is like the personality that I gave Tom. He comes across super charismatic, super pleasant, but with anyone with any decent level of insight can see this guy is playing you. He is just telling you exactly what you want to hear. So essentially what I use when I am coming up with an NPC is I will have an idea of who they are, and then I have like an idea for either like a character in like a TV show or a movie or something like that, that I kind of like link to it, so that whenever it comes to like, okay, time to role play as Tom, I can just kind of think of this individual character and it kind of allows me to fall into it. So for the sake of Tom, I use Saul from Breaking Bad or from Better Call Saul. That's kind of like the personality that I come up with. So that's how I make an NPC. Now sometimes like that's an NPC that they're gonna interact with on a regular basis, so I put a lot more effort into him. But if it's like, hey, a random messenger comes by and they wanna know that messenger's name and you know, race and all that kind of stuff, a lot of times I just say a messenger walks up to you and gives you this. The only time I give them more information is if they ask for it. And if that's the case, I go by this exact same thing. I describe the race, I describe the gender, and if they want to know the name, I describe the name. Like a messenger, I don't get much into their personality or something like that. But if it's like, let's say a tavern keeper, somewhere that they're going to be coming back to multiple times, give that character a personality that is distinct to them. When it comes to role playing as them, some people like to do voices. I'm really bad at accents. I'm so bad at accents. So I like to give my character, my NPCs, as opposed to different accents, I like to give them different like mannerisms or different catchphrases that they like to use, or things like that that don't especially require me to have like art school, like theater major ability to do accents. especially because in my campaign, one of the players is actually from England and has a natural British accent. I feel super self-conscious doing a British accent around him, so I just don't do them. All that to say, NPCs are a very vital part of any campaign. They are literally the rest of the world. So getting comfortable with how to make them is a pretty important part of DMing. When it comes to names, you can take the time ahead of time to go through and plan out, like, okay, in my tavern, there's going to be a tavern keeper, there's going to be a barmaid, there's going to be a chef, there's going to be, you can have that all out planned ahead of time if that's how you like to play the game, or to like plan the game, and you can come up with names for them all and all that kind of stuff. But if you remember in my last video, where we did creating a one-shot from start to finish, I talked about a couple websites that I love to use when I need to come up with names on the fly, like the fantasy name generator, and I still can't say the name, the Chaostician writer. I don't know, it's something like that. Chaostician writer. And I'll put links to both those websites in the description. But those are really great websites where it's like, oh, hey, on the fantasy name generator, you go under male dwarf name generator, boom, you click it, it generates names. You just grab one, go. Now, you've done the harder part of creating him, but now comes the hardest part of remembering them later when they come back to him. So here's what I like to do to keep track of all of the NPCs that you make. I use an Excel spreadsheet. What I do is in the Excel spreadsheet, first column is going to be the name, second column will be whatever city they are in, third column is going to be a description of them. So like for Tom, it would be older human male, and if I gave them any defining features like, broken nose or, an eye patch or something like that, I would put that in the description. And in the fourth column, I put like their job. He is the stable master of Tom Stables. Or if there was like a tavern keeper, I would put tavern keeper of said tavern. And the way, and I just, as I'm going through whatever the bottom line is, I just fill that in with the next NPC that I make up. Then, if your party ever comes back to this town again, what I do is I go and I sort by the city column. So then, like let's say they're in Amman, in Tal'Dorei. I sort, and then everyone that's in Amman will all be clumped together in that Excel spreadsheet, and they're much easier to find. And that way they're like, hey, what was that tavern that we went to last time? Oh, it was said tavern, the Filthy Maiden or something like that. And the tavern keeper was so-and-so, and he looked like this, and his descriptor was, in quotations, Saul from Breaking Bad. So I can remember what this person was like when they come back weeks later, and I can have that continuity of the campaign and make them feel like they are in a world that has real people, and it really adds a lot to that campaign. So I hope this has kind of helped give you some ideas or pointers on how to create your own NPCs. And NPCs are so much fun to make. Like and subscribe so we can keep this content going, and I will see you guys in the next one.